everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, June 29, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Well, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Normally, we humans, which is also a temporary word, are extremely focused beings who have amnesia about the power of connecting with our infinite spiritual nature. The more we obsess about changing the outer world of appearances, the more blind we become to the infinite power within us. Most people are unaware of their spiritual truth 95 to 100% of the day. This is the main reason why we suffer and continue to be slaves to the outer world. The only real reason anyone experiencing suffering is because they are living a lie. When the lie is revealed and no longer taken as truth, the soul is liberated, and a new perception of reality steps in. As long as we are distracted by the ego's desires and the bling of the outer world, we choose to live in a state of spiritual ignorance, because humanity has been deeply hypnotized for centuries regarding our spiritual truth. We must choose to engage in profound and conscious unraveling. Your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are ready. What is creating your reality? Whenever you stop and look within yourself, you first encounter your mind and its entanglement of thoughts. This entanglement is where you are under self-hypnosis, believing in a reality that you created in the past. When you investigate a bit deeper into where these thoughts are coming from, you will find the source that's creating your reality. Connect this source with the knowing that all of life is infinite, eternally, and externally, internally and externally, and your entire being will begin to expand beyond its normal limitations. The mind is always seated in deep imagination. Amazing new possibilities in your life are forming around every corner, and yet the mind is deeply imprisoned by its past conditioning. It contains a limited perception of reality that it projects upon everything. These limited prisons are belief systems and thought programs which you received in childhood. They form the comfortable prison bars and invisible walls that create your identification as a limited being who has problems. It is your responsibility to see that all thoughts are unreal, and only the one who is aware of these thoughts is actually real. Whatever you perceive as your external world will always be a projection created by your mind. The outer world is always going to extend far beyond what the mind can interpret and comprehend. As long as the mind is continuously projecting its imagination onto the external reality, it will continue to construct a narrative and story that it formulates as reality. The world is but a canvas to our imagination. Henry David Thoreau. Your mind is the most powerful, convincing movie projector in this universe. Your mind has hatred toward yourself. That hatred leaks out to be projected into everything and everyone in your outer world. If your mind has compassion and love for yourself, you naturally project patience, kindness, passion for everyone you meet. The mind is extremely powerful. It can project the most loving, sensitive energy onto everyone in your world by simply shifting gears to treating yourself with the most gentle tenderness, kindness, and sensitivity. Often, because of our unfinished karma, the mind tends to repetitively regurgitate old limiting beliefs and negative thinking patterns. It can become very difficult to see life clearly for what it is. So remember one vital thing. Freedom is always an inside job. The more you can liberate your mind from the movies it's replaying, the less you'll be hooked by your limiting thoughts within. Then all your relationships and situations in your outer world will portray a freedom from these limiting thoughts and negativity. The only way to tame and train the mind is to embrace the darkest aspects of your current predicament and go through it. By diving within and attuning your mind's attention to the infinite spiritual reality that exists within you and in everyone around you, these self-imposed barriers dissolve and you can instantly experience liberation. By simply listening to the messages from your infinite inner verse and letting them meet your infinite outer verse, all your prison walls will crumble, dissolve into nothingness, and you will be freed. This freedom means you realize that you're a child of this universe, this universal consciousness, God, who was born with unlimited potential. You feel connected to the source of unlimited knowledge, energy, wisdom, love, and creativity. You become consumed by this truth and the knowledge that we are all beings made of infinite light. Who we truly are is already beyond the limitations of the mind, as it's connected spiritually to everyone else in the outer universe through the inner verse within. It's important to recognize that on some level, we have chosen every thought we believe is true. Deep inside, we have programmed our minds with its limitations. This is the only way to understand the precious power of experiencing yourself as an infinite and eternal being. You now have a prison to break free from, and a new horizon where you can grow, expand, and surpass your limiting beliefs. For example, the finite, inner-bound 24-hour day of the tick-tock business world is a man-made, fabricated version of reality. Their 12-hour system has led you to believe this is what time is, and it is real. This time-bound construct then creates all types of limitations inside the mind. These limitations on time are the base elements that make up every prison you feel inside you. This westernized time clock is the foundation of the core struggle. we experience every day in our thinking patterns. The more attached we are to the clock and the time it's keeping, the more stress, panic, fear, and worry we will experience in this life. Its lack of connection with eternity and infinity is stifling your capability to create, manifest, and experience anything you desire. Return to the truth of infinity, and you will be set free. What does that mean? It means surrender time, let go of it, and be reintroduced to infinity, which is always and forever. You see the difference? This construct on this planet, time. And so what happens to us? Well, we atrophy, and we become codependent on time. What would happen if for, who knows, let's say for a weekend, right? You had no time. You had no clocks, nothing. Your devices, nothing. You had none of that at all. And you just went by what? Infinity. Darkness, lightness, in between, day after day after day, night after night, morning after morning. See, you would build up the understanding that there is no time. Everything is infinite. And when you realize that there is no time, then you begin to realize that, wow, I have been really locked up for a long time. When you step out of this 3D matrix of time and into the infinite, timeless truth of existence, you bring 100% presence into this now moment. And it becomes easy to see how every thought you believe is manifesting your reality. You believe something deep about yourself and this world. And these colors, every thought you think afterward, it colors every thought you think afterward. Anytime you think yourself or the world to be a certain way, this perception forms limitations around your entire reality. And you manifest into your physical surroundings whatsoever you believe reality is. So be aware of your very innermost thoughts. Find a way to remain a witness who is unattached to whatever the mind says they are. It's good to know that our thoughts are coming from the infinite source. So they are happening through you and not to you. Your thoughts are not you because you are eternal. You are infinite. And all thoughts are finite. You are the spiritual light of awareness, existing in an unbounded infinite field of space and time. There are no real limitations on what you can create, as long as you use your limitations to propel you to step into the unlimited. Then you will know what a life filled with unlimited possibilities is like. There is a contradiction in wanting to be perfectly secure in a universe whose very nature is momentariness and fluidity. Alan Watts. It's always a choice for any of us. Let go of all the beliefs in your mind and say, my life should be like this and not like that. Release your attachment to how you think life should turn out for you in the future. Fully accept the life that you have right here, right now, as the divine life that is. This is the gift of letting the present moment be your guide. Do this full-heartedly, and you'll discover the infinity of time, energy, money, and possibilities available to you. Right now. The present moment harbors our greatest power. It is where enlightenment is found. The now is where you will experience freedom. And ironically, you are forever forced to exist in this present moment. You cannot exist anywhere else but the now. And sure, your mind constantly tries to escape the now, searching in the past or future for whatever your ego thinks will make you happy. Yet, real happiness is never found in the search for something better. Your highest fulfillment in this life always comes from being absorbed in the present moment, being surrendered to the magnificent glory of what's here now. Breathe this information into your body until it becomes pure knowing. Fully be here now, because you only exist here now. And only in the here and now will you break out of the prison walls encapsulating your mind. Great quote from Deepak Chopra. You must find the place inside yourself where nothing is impossible. The highest state of Buddha Christ-like awareness, remember Buddha Christ is identified through enlightenment. These are not people's names. The highest state of Buddha Christ-like awareness in this universe is always available within all of us. It is forever occurring within you now, happening without your effort. In fact, you can only see it when you stop all the effort of the mind and simply drop into your most silent space within. You can always experience the pure joy of being alive in life just by letting go of the outer search, being right here, right now. The moment you align your entire being with what's happening right now, you can feel something super spacious and effervescent bubbling up from a space beyond the mind and the body. When we are connecting with our infinite being, the mind has no room for worries or concerns. The truth of your infinite spirit liberates you from who you think you are. Now, this liberation is only found in this present moment, not in the future or the past. It's only available when you are totally present to the highest truth that infinity exists here, now. From this enlightened understanding of time and space, you can exist in peace with any challenge or difficult situation you're in. You are aware enough to think the thoughts you want to think from this expanded paradigm shift in reality. You can see that you are all powerful. You can manifest anything you wish. So relax into this moment of your life more deeply than you ever have. Make it your primary focus to embody the spiritual understanding that everything is infinite, both within and without. Integrate this truth into every facet of your existence till it permeates your entire being. The demand for permanence in every area of our existence is the cause of human misery, as there is no such thing as permanence at all. Krishnamurti. We all need some outer clairvoyant support in seeing through the muck of the mind and shifting out of some of the deeply sticky places we are stuck in. If or when you find yourself caught in a perpetual spiral that you cannot escape from. I invite you to have an enlightening conversation with the God within you. There are so many avenues, and to some it seems it's endless. It pretty much is endless, but when you simplify it, we know one thing for sure. We know the only thing that is actually vividly present is the now. We know that by going out of the now and going into yesterday and tomorrow, we will suffer. We know that there's nothing else other than the now. So why is it so difficult for so many to stay in the now? Well, because the ego mind has a firm grip on the majority of us on this planet. And until we master the ego mind, this will be a tug-of-war. 1 minute you're in the now, the next minute you're in yesterday or tomorrow. 1 minute you're in the now, the next minute you're in yesterday and tomorrow. But the positive thing about that is that it continually reinforces your direction by being and staying in the now. It all boils down to this. The minute you start running thoughts, right, about yesterday, about tomorrow, how do you feel when you do that? Do you feel enlightened and free? Or do you feel trapped and stuck? Because what do we usually do when we go, let's say we go into the future. Say you're always floating into the future. What happens there? Well, it's almost a given that we attach ourselves to the future. Some event, something we're looking at. So we form attachments and expectations. And then we start making plans around it. Those are expectations. You make plans around it. Even though it hasn't manifested. Then what happens? You worry about it actually happening. You start doubting yourself. And all along, what is this? What are we doing? Well, we're suffering. Now, knowing that, what compels us to go into yesterday and tomorrow, every day? The ego mind. Now, when we know that, and we've identified the fact, the reason that I'm floating off into yesterday or tomorrow is because of the ego mind. The ego mind wants to keep me in yesterday and tomorrow. Because it doesn't exist in the now. Well, if it doesn't exist in the now, how can it pull us out of the now? Because it's from yesterday and tomorrow, and you are connected to yesterday and tomorrow. And your natural state is the now, but you don't know that. You believe your natural state is yesterday and tomorrow. So the ego mind just kind of puts a little tether on you and pulls you back. So we realize that, and you understand that, and you say, okay, fine. Then I will make a concerted effort or commitment to be consciously aware that when the ego mind pulls me off, remember you're gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. So it pulls me off, and it's okay. So I'll go back in the now. And it is, at times, it can be tedious because the ego mind is so relentless and it keeps pulling you out. You keep going back to the now and it keeps pulling you out of the now. You see, after a while, it begins to realize that no matter what it does, you're pretty much going to stay in the now. And that it goes into a peaceful state. And then eventually, it realizes it's no longer needed. And it vanishes. How many of us throughout the ages have done that. I don't believe any of us have. Did Buddha? Did Siddhartha? Did Jesus? Did he? Did Lao Tzu? Maitreya? Kuan Yin? Lakshmi? Did any of them? Ganesh? You kind of you wonder, right? And the thing that you're focused on is you. That's it. You're focused on you, not anything else. You're looking at saying, okay, so I surrender everything. I surrender my life. I surrender everything to the universe. Without doubt, without even a smidgen of doubt. And see, some people would get that confused by, well, I give up. I'm surrendering my life. That means I'm leaving the body. No, not at all. That has nothing to do with it. You're letting go of it. See? You're not concerned about controlling it all the time. Controlling things. Every intention that we send out, we manifest it. Now, the reason that we don't get there, in most cases, is because that doubt comes in. The insecurity of the ego mind comes in and starts questioning things. How in the heck are you going to be able to do this? This is where we have all of this interference from the ego mind. Oh, hey, Bill, you can't do that. What the heck are you thinking? Better give that up. Let that go. Don't waste your time. The heart mind just says, hey, open yourself up, it'll come to you. Would anybody believe you? Just for giggles. You're in a sit-down conversation, and say the others are not quite on the same page, but open enough, right? You say, the reason that we all suffer, oh boy, there's that word right there, say, alarm, what talking about suffer? Is because we spend most of our time in the ego mind. The ego mind is very insecure, and it worries and stresses and fears all the time, and it's never satisfied. Wow, what a combination that is. So in turn, that's what we do. See, that's what we do. Does that make sense? We have all this power within. And yet, as we are slaves to the ego mind, we have no clue that we have this power. And when it's brought up, we go, yeah, sure, okay. Do most of us know about the ego mind? I think a lot do. Not deeply. But there's those of us that'll say, yeah, we all have egos, which is a good start. Now, ask in the quiet time of this meditation, there's a question to ask yourself. Okay? And the question is, what is it that you most supremely want in this life. You'll get a feeling, if you want to call it an answer. Might not come during quiet time, might not come today or tomorrow, but it'll come. Sometimes it'll be right away, instantaneously. So how do we kind of clarify things? You know that you are going to suffer as long as you're in the ego mind. You're going to worry, stress, fear. You're going to have anxiety at times. Not like you know it. A lot of people don't. You know that. See, I don't believe that with any of us, for the most part, that any of us believe that we won't suffer if we're in the ego mind, or when. We believe that we will. Now, we also know that by making the commitment to focus and stay in the now, we do know inherently through the heart-mind that we won't suffer. We won't. There's no possibility of it. When you live moment to moment in the now, there's nothing there for you to worry, stress, fear about because the ego mind isn't there. So what does that do? Well, it cleans the slates. There's no interference at all. There's no mind chatter. See? There's none of this busy boom, 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 boom going on. And you literally begin to relax into yourself. And as we practice it becomes more apparent to us that, I'm going to stay here in the now. I know what happens over here in the ego mind, yesterday and tomorrow. Why the heck would I want to do that anymore? And you say to yourself, well, I know that the ego mind will pull me off and I'll wander away and I'll just totally lose track of what I was doing in the now. So it's very easy. I focus on my breath rising and falling. I relax into my body as much as I can. And I'm back in the now. See, and this becomes more and more apparent as we practice it 24/7. Now, a lot of people get frustrated. They get irritated, which sinks their vibrational frequency because they're irritated because the ego mind keeps pulling them out and they got to start over. And, oh, forget it. Ego mind wins. I mean, where's the proof of this? Look around you. We're all watchers. We're not judging, but just watch. You'll see it. You'll see it all over this planet. Fear, intimidation, greed, manipulation, dishonesty, subversion. I mean, it's all there. You get to the point as you watch things, you will know, absolute, without a shadow of a doubt, when somebody is an ego mind. It isn't a judgment, it is a knowing. When we have talk of war and conflict and all of this boogeyman stuff, that's all the ego mind. The whole shebang is the ego mind. And the irony to it is that it is up to us to say to ourselves, I don't care to be in the ego mind anymore. And it's like, hey, ego mind, no offense, but I've been here a long time, many lifetimes, and I know what it's all about as far as what happens when I'm in the ego mind. You kind of say, ego mind, I love you, but I'm not going to be around here. So what you do is that you become more and more in the now, less and less in yesterday and tomorrow. Ego mind begins to fall into a peaceful state, And then your heart mind can direct the ego mind. Big shift, big difference. And then eventually the ego mind says, well, I'm no longer needed, and it just doesn't exist anymore. Because it was an illusion to begin with. You see how everything is temporary? Ego mind is temporary. In the event that you master it by how I just shared with you to do so. Now, is it going to be permanent? I mean, hey, I've mastered my ego mind forever. No, because there's always that little seepage that comes in where you may find yourself in the ego mind, but then you'll know it, and then you won't be there but a split second because you will just back into the heart mind, the now. And what do? Well, then you begin to discover who and what you really are. It opens up everything. It opens up all the locked doors and windows. They all come undone. All of your anxieties and fears, worries and stresses come undone. Drop away. I mean, that's supremely motivational. Isn't it? That motivation takes us a long way. Okay, so you're going, okay, I know over here what takes place. I also know over here what takes place. Now, to further my journey, the direction of the now is for me. To detract from my journey and slow me down is to be in yesterday and tomorrow. Have you ever noticed that throughout this life of yours, there have been times where you have said to yourself, not what do you call it, not congested, so to speak, but openly and freely, like happy-go-lucky and carefree, and you just make this intent, and you leave it alone, and it's brief, and you just, boom, it's gone, right? And then you find yourself having the universe deliver it to you. It's there. It comes to you. And you just kind of go, wow, that's wild. All I did was just think about that. But see, you had no doubt, you had no fear, you had no worry, you had no stress. For that moment, you were not in the ego mind. And so that extension, that power and energy that you sent out specifically, your answer was that it manifested into your life. This is what our natural state of being is, but we don't know that because we've been so conditioned in the opposite direction. It's just the opposite. It's a flip for all of us. It's the opposite direction. Being abundant and prosperous and happy and healthy and well is our natural state of being. But the flip is the opposite of that. Worry, stress, and fear, and anxiety, attachment, expectation. That's what we do. See? And we become so accustomed to it that we believe that that's the way life is supposed to be. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Those statements say derogatory and also crap. But people, after you get programmed long enough, you believe that statement. Yeah, that's true. I guess I was just doing wishful thinking. And that's what happens. And so we skate back and forth like the pendulum of the clock. But more and more, we're moving into 7 years of these meditations. Every day, 7 days a week, without interruption, moving into 7 years. That's a lot of meditation. That's a lot of positive, high frequency and energy. And it assists with transforming us to be in the now in the heart mind and operate from the heart mind and not the ego mind, which means what? Eventual elimination of confrontation, low vibrational frequencies, fear, anger, stress, anxiety, greed, manipulation, all of it falls away. This is huge, this step. Why do you think you're here? Why do you believe you're here? Why do you come to these meditations? because you know it. You know it within your heart mind. You don't argue with it because you know it, because you experience some of these things, if not all of them. And then your confidence level, your trust and faith level within yourself and this universe begins to increase. And then slowly but surely, you don't feel locked up anymore. All these shields and barriers and bars and all this stuff that we create around our hearts, which is an illusion, begins to melt away, fade away. Then we understand that everything is temporary. It's all temporary, everything, except us, except the gods that we are. We're infinity. And that there is no time. There really isn't. It's an illusion. And then we become aware of the fact that all there is infinity. That's it. And we know that everything here, this planet, us, and these bodies, is temporary. And to really bring that into the heart mind and embrace it, then you begin to understand that then my intent is to enjoy my life. Right? And then you go about maneuvering, so to speak, how to do that without the ego mind trying to stop you. Or, you say, oh, this is wonderful. Ego mind says, oh, yeah, it's not going to last long. Okay? Better enjoy it while you can. And where you get to the point where you say, yes, it'll last as long as I choose it to last. There's a big difference there. Big difference. Who then is the master and commander? You and the heart mind or the ego mind? So again, in the quiet time of this meditation, focus on, as you're relaxing into the body and you're listening and watching the breath rise and fall, what is it that you truly want to experience in this life? Join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out through the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into the body, focused on the breath rising and falling. There are no accidents or coincidence in this world. Nothing is by chance. It is all a reflection, indication, expression, manifestation of your body-mind's vibration. Your vibration is determined by the thoughts and feelings you choose to experience, which are also being sent out into this universe. Your body-mind is like a massive tower that emits a personal signature energy, which is constantly being received by this universe. Positive feelings, thoughts create easy, healing, and satisfying experiences, while negative thoughts, feelings attract situations that leave us with a dark, lonely, and impoverished experience. For today, hold your attention on the most powerful vibration there is, love. Start by turning your tower so it's working at 100% by practicing self-love. Love yourself no matter what happens today. This commitment releases all negative possible accidents from entering your vibrational field. You'll win every battle with pain, poverty, and failure. Imagine what it will be like to be self-loving and self-accepting for the next 24 hours. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and following mornings. We will return here Sunday, June 30, 2024. And just imagine that next week is the week of July 4th, Independence Day. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.